Dear friends, I hope you're all keeping well. Today I'm delighted to welcome my guest, Iryna King. Iryna is a button accordionist from Ukraine and is now based in Coventry in the West Midlands. Welcome to Chat with Chithra. Iryna, how are you?
I'm okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Chithra.
Namaste.
Добрий вечір, друзі.
Interestingly, I was so very intrigued about this aspect of culture from Ukraine, which is very similar to our Indian culture. The Ukrainians value the family life a lot. I also particularly love the vibrant costume. Do you wear that during festivities or how?
Yes, on special occasion. You don't wear it every day or. Yes, it should be a very special occasion. Our embroidery day, we have got special day for that. Independence Day, or when we have concerts in a club, and yes.
And also I noticed the unique embroidery you have on your blouse. That is very, very unique to just Ukraine or?
Ukrainian, I've noticed some Belarusian, some Moldovan and Romanian, they have got some kind of embroidery.
Okay.
But it's not just because I'm Ukrainian, but I think Ukrainian one, because I've seen lots of the most colorful and the most unique. Every pattern is different. It's not repeatable. So
yeah, it certainly looks very intricate, and perhaps it's got a very unique motif or a design which depicts something about the place.
I wouldn't say, well, in every region, women embroidered in different patterns.
Right.
It also depended on a woman's mood and depended on what occasion she was doing that. If it is for wedding, women used certain patterns, certain colors, right? If it was like a symbol which is supposed to protect, like for women used to embroider for their loved one when they went to the war. So the girl put all her soul and embroidered with a cross. The cross is a sign of protection from a devil, so it doesn't allow devils to enter the soul.
Right.
Every pattern meant something.
Okay, that's very interesting. Yeah,
it's a big story.
So, Iryna, I know that you are a trained button accordionist. I think this was developed in Russia around the 20th century and named after the 11th century bard Boyan.
Yes, it's called actually Boyan. Yeah, you're
Boyan.
absolutely right.
Right. Why Boyan?
Right. I started to play Bayan when I was 9. I just in the darkness, I could say like this, the government switched off electricity and it was boring evening. At that time, we didn't have internet, TV was not on, and we didn't have candle, I think. So it was absolutely boring evening, and I knew that there is an accordion in a cupboard. My mom used to play it. So I asked my parents if I could just ask them to get it out, and so being a small girl, the game is big. At that time, it was huge for me, right? I could hardly reach the button. So I started in the darkness, pressing button, and I heard some song. And that's just carried on. And then my parents sent me to a musical school, which I was attending for 5 years. But I didn't go to college as my teacher suggested. I was just playing in parties and with the friends. When I worked at school, I played for kids and during the concerts. And when I came here and I joined our community, I took part in different festivals and different charity events and Nepalese in other communities events. This is how.
Right.
I'm going to sing one verse of very, very beautiful Ukrainian waltz. This song is very popular in Ukraine. The meaning is night, very beautiful night. There are lots of stars in the sky, and the boy is calling for his girl one to go out and have a look at the skies.
So you had several opportunities to perform before a wider audience, right? Especially when you came to the UK.
Yes, I played during Sikh events, their ceremony, and they were celebrating MTM award, MTM Global in Birmingham. In Nepalese, every year I play their concert, their annual events. Also, I was at my well, the big honor for me to be the first Ukrainian to play Ukrainian folk song in Bristol last December, an MTM award ceremony. I was performing very old folk Ukrainian song.
That's brilliant.
And thanks, Chithra, you invited me to this third music conference.
Oh, it was a
which,
pleasure to have you and listen to your playing. Amazing, amazing. Yes.
Thank you for this opportunity to represent, because I'm very proud and passionate about our culture and especially about our music. And for me, that was very interesting because it's the first time when I heard Carnatic music. So that was actually very valuable meeting.
I think it becomes our responsibility as artists to bring forward our culture, to reach out to a wider audience, especially now that we are away from our homeland, right? So it is our responsibility. We take great pride in showing our culture to the wider community.
I think you're absolutely right. For me, it's not only these things, and also it is some kind of connection with the Ukraine. And it reminds me day with the parents. I spent with the parents, with my grandparents, and yeah, a little bit of break.
Brings in a lot of good memories, I suppose.
Yes, oh yes.
Tell me, Iryna, I think with the bayan, you need a lot of coordination, right? With the buttons and also with the bellows. How does it actually work? Did you find it difficult when you started learning?
Well, it's difficult to say because, well, now it looks easy, right? My husband, how do you do that? For me, just it actually depends on the music, because sometimes you just pick up and you play straight away. With certain songs, you require a little bit more time. At the beginning, it was difficult, of course, because you were learning all the notes and trying to press these buttons on the right hand, then left hand, then together. Now it's just like a second nature. Sorry, it looks, for me, it looks easy now. It is.
Right. So is it easier than playing a piano?
I think everything is possible if you have got something in here. If you want to learn, and if you really you will get it, right? I think you need to have a big desire, and I had it. My mother played, and all my family were singing, and I just that's a part of me. I cannot imagine myself without accordion. So I think for every instrument, right? It can be guitar or violin or whatever. If you have got this passion, you really want to learn this instrument, particularly this instrument. Every instrument is different. It's difficult, and for me, for example, I can't understand how people playing violin looks like so complicated, right? Maybe for people who play violin will look vice versa. I think you need to, main point, you need to have this inside.
Passion to learn, yeah. Now, you've been out of Ukraine, you've been living in the Midlands for quite a few years now. What do you do to keep in tune with your culture now that you're away from your homeland?
You know, I'm so lucky that I have got our Ukrainian club. We have got Ukrainian club, and so amazing people who still, it's a third and fourth generation. They keep those traditions and culture, which our ancestors came. They came from after Second World War, and they acquired the building where they keep our club, social club, where we spent all events, organized all events, spent all time together. Every weekend it's open. Children are taught to dance Cossack dancings. We have got choir. We celebrate Christmas together, our Easter together. We take part in different social events in the city. I think I'm so lucky to have this, and that's very valuable that our community still keep this our heritage. It is not lost. That's
really wonderful to know. Yes, it's very important for each one of us to stay in touch with our culture. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
I know you've been learning the button accordion, and you would have played a lot of traditional Ukrainian folk music and traditional music. Now, you have taken a liking towards Bollywood songs.
Oh yes, well,
How did that start?
you know what? I'm a big fan of Bollywood films. When I was a child, always watched those films and just fascinated with their dressing, music.
Yeah.
And when I came here, I met our our club. I think we hosted Positive Images Festival, where
Right.
different communities were invited. I
Mhm.
met Karan Baric, as
Yeah.
a well-known photographer from Sikh community.
Mm.
Actually introduced me to Sikh culture, to different Sikh people, to Nepalese community as well. And once he invited me to perform a song on an event which was organized by Sikh community.
Right.
And I thought I decided to to discover a little bit um of Indian culture through music. And in addition, I like to experiment with music. So I thought, oh, I will learn one Indian song. It was hard work to do, and I chose a very old song, Mera Juta Hai Japani from Shri 420, because I was watching that film when I was small.
Oh,
And this is how it started. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. So, and then later I said, okay, I'll learn some more songs.
that's
It's
really
absolutely beautiful. I enjoy that.
being exposed to Bollywood movies when you were a child has actually given you an inspiration later on in your life to try.
Not that point. I'm saying that point. That was when I was child, right? I always wanted to dance, and actually, I looks up as far as I remember, I was dancing in front of TV, and I didn't play accordion that time. It
Hmm.
started in here, right? When I met people, some wonderful people from Sikh community, right?
Right.
And I heard music, and I said, I'll do that. I'll try. It looks like it will.
That's really good.
Next song will be sung in Hindi. It's a very old song, one of my favorite songs sung by Lata Mangeshkar. Gore gore banke chore kari mere gaya karo gore gore banke chore charo se bulaya karo gore gore banke chore kari mere gaya karo gore gore banke chore charo se bulaya रोज रोज मुलाकात है यार मेरे से बात है तोरा तोरा मिलना थोड़ी सी जुदाई साल जुदाई जुदाई चदर छोड़ो जिया न तोड़ो किसी और को जुआया करो गोरी गोरी बन के छोड़ी चाहे रोज बुलाया करो and so on. I absolutely love this song.
You also have written articles to some of the magazines and the press, both here as well as in Ukraine.
That was first was in 2017. As I said, I was so impressed and with them with that effort our members trying to do to keep our traditions and
Mhm.
share it with the next generation.
Mhm.
Plus our history, our culture, what we do here, Ukrainians far away from Ukraine. So I wrote an article which was published in some Ukrainian newspapers, and one of this newspaper was a parliamentary newspaper, Voice of Ukraine.
All right.
Also next year I published, because we have got every year we celebrate our embroidery day called Vyshyvanka Day in May. I wrote an article in Coventry Telegraph, and after that last year we organized photo shoot in our Ukrainian costumes with our ladies, and I wrote article for MTM magazine called Must magazine about our embroidery and what we have done. I'm not journalist. The idea was to actually to share what we do.
Mm. Mm.
I think people, and I would gladly read another stories about another cultures. I think we need to share such things. It encourages people in other communities, encourages to share their culture, their heritage. And it's interesting to know.
It is important to stay in touch with our culture. Keep them also informed that yes, you are very much, in tune with your culture and you're trying to promote your culture, be it music or arts or any other form. What would be your advice to the younger generation? What do you think they should be focused with?
I think everyone should be true to their roots, right? Don't forget your history. And it's always nice and it's respectful. It is actually amazing that you keep what your grandparents, what your parents did, and just pass to another generation. To live in diverse society, I think it is a great thing, and plus to respect each other. So just be true to your root.
So very apt. Yes, thank you for sharing. Where would you rather be right now, in the UK or in Ukraine?
Now in England, because it is my home now, but my heart will always be in Ukraine. I'm Ukrainian British, if I can say like this. So part of me is in Ukraine.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
I would say helpful, reliable, hospitable will be.
That's good. If you can invite any 3 celebrities, dead or alive, over for dinner, who would you invite and why?
Celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. That question.
Okay.
I would prefer to invite celebrities from different cultures and different communities.
Mm-hmm. Can you name the people? Any 3?
That will be Chithra, you. That will be we were speaking about celebrities, which you are a celebrity in your community in Birmingham. That would be Sumara Farouk from Pakistani community, and I would probably invite my director for his English, and I would like to, because I told him a lot about our culture, so I would like to prepare to cook something Ukrainian for him.
That's really very nice. That's very nice, and thank you for the invite. I would certainly keep that in mind. Yes.
We might sing songs together.
Oh yes, yes, we will certainly.
I would love to hear your singing. I heard this you sing very beautiful. I've never heard, so I would love to hear that.
Sure, absolutely. It'll be a pleasure. Now we all have a very stressful life. What do you do to relax?
Playing the accordion. This is my relaxation. This is my stress relief. This is my actually everything. This is my everything. Yeah.
Music has its therapeutic effect on the human mind.
Sometimes you have a good busy day. You're so tired, and so, okay, I'll just close myself in the room, start playing, and you just switch off. You just switch off yourself, and you're absolutely in a different world. So yeah, it helps. It inspires and it relaxes. It makes you happy, and for me, it is everything.
Yeah. I do that as well. Music certainly helps us a lot to relax and de-stress yourself, and it brings in that calmness within us, for that matter.
Absolutely.
What is a city you would like to visit?
Not city, probably village, somewhere in Asia, either India, Nepal, or Japan. Village particularly. I wouldn't like to go to city. I would like to go to rural area where people live. People still keep those tradition from their ancestors, because I think it is a little bit lost in cities, which you can get it in the villages.
Oh yes, Yes, very true. That's really very interesting, and that brings us to the end of this lively chat show. I would say. I hope you also had a good time. I had an absolutely wonderful time talking to you, Iryna, learning more about Ukrainian culture and learning more about yourself and your musical experiences. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me. It was my pleasure to talk to you and to know a little bit more about your culture. Because learning Indian song, I learn your culture as well, and so it was amazing. Just I wish you good luck and looking forward to another to the next talk show.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Namaste.